Damn, it's the intro? Yes, it's the intro. Damn, this is the intro? Yes, it's the intro.
They don't know what they in for. If it coming like this on the intro, what they here for? If they want the heat, you know who to send for your info. Buy my money like Venmo. If this music don't work out, I know how to get it from my ends low. How you feel though? Cause hey, they can't rock with us. Galaxy ain't no stopping us. They ain't trying to steal my style. I'm feeling like I just shopping. Can't trust him cause he done my cause we worry about getting figures. All my ain't father figures, just know my quick to pop it.
Damn, it's the intro? Yes, it's the intro. Damn, this is the intro? Yes, it's the intro. Damn, it's the intro? Yes, it's the intro. Damn, this is the intro? Yes, it's the intro.
Yeah, my day ones here to dance at the beginning. So you know it's only right, that's how we end it. Came all the way from losing to winning. Yeah, I did it. But it ain't just me, it's the whole team. Share it with the whole team. Congratulate the whole team. Cause when you riding like we riding with each other, ain't no I in this. It's the whole team. Share it with the whole team. Congratulate the whole team. Cause when you riding like we riding with each other, ain't no I in this. Tell them line it up like a fourth.
Spread between 4th and 6th Streets in downtown Minneapolis. We welcome you inside spacious U.S. Bank Stadium. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the New York Giants and the Minnesota Vikings. The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. This is going to be returned from middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
At their own 19-yard line.
They'll start out on the ground, and Saquon Barkley. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. It's Barkley on the counter. And some room to work. And he will step out of bounds here inside the 30. 53 yards rushing for him here as he starts to draw closer to a 1,000-yard campaign. Nothing fancy there, a little smash-mouth football right up the gut on the dive, and it turns into a huge play.
You talk about the fastest way to the secondary. Right up the gut as you described, and sprinted into the secondary for a long, long way.
And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose 1 or 2.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd down, here's Barkley. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. Christmas Eve here in 2022, a big slate today of Saturday games. But we will have, ready for this, a triple header of action on Christmas Day tomorrow. I think it's pretty safe to say we won't have a white Christmas in any of these places, however. We start with the Packers and Dolphins in Miami at 1 Eastern. Then you got the Broncos and Rams from Los Angeles. And then finally, the Bucs and Cardinals at 8:20 Eastern in the desert. Plus one more for good measure on Monday. Once the family's all gone back home and Grandma's putted out of the house, grab the leftovers and sit back and watch the Chargers and the Colts from Indianapolis. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. The Giants go on fourth but come up empty. And this defense delivers a turnover on downs on the very first drive of the afternoon. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 right at the 30. They start the drive with Cook. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Well, I think after that run, the defense get back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. On 1st and 10, Cousins. Swinging this out wide here for Cook. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line. The Vikings had 8 and 6 now on the year. And they come in feeling pretty good after back-to-back victories, CD.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. Another good completion on the drive as the Vikings have a 1st down. Cousins gives way to Cook. He fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
In motion right comes Gordon. That's going to be caught. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Preston Williams, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Foot connects on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Folk now set to boot it after his guys put 6 on the board. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on 4th down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't want to get to a 4th down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger.
Jones fakes the give to Barkley. He'll look downfield for Waller. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
They'll try to run for it with Barkley. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
That's about what you would expect since they're so efficient on picking up 3rd downs in the top 5 in the NFL. It's all a mindset, and I'm guarantee you it started in the offseason. 3rd down's important to them. They find a way to pick them up at a very good clip.
And that's caught inside the 30. And he'll be brought down at the 27. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Now Jones. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Well, the gap man coverage on the outside, and my scouting good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sand.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw a better pass rush than that one right there.
So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. Gano's kick is good, and they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal, you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. On second down, it's Cook again. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. Although his reputation as a speedy runner precedes him, it's always fun to watch him work.
It is eye-opening, isn't it? Because when you see him get the ball and just go, in addition to that speed, it helps out his blockers. They don't have to hold blocks for long because he's just going to speed right past them.
In motion, right comes Gordon. He's got a man, complete. Touchdown, Vikings. Preston Williams, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And they're able to add on to their advantage. Extra point up and good by Folk. And that pushes the lead up to 11. Folk now set to boot it after his guys put 6 on the board. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone.
The Giants take over 1st and 10 at their own 16-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get them 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone.
And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now, the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on it, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content to just kick extra points from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely no question. I think his teammates would be okay with him just kicking the extra points as well.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Throwing, Jones. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
And here's Gillen on now to punt as he gets this one away. And he's going to be shoved out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. He had his sights on the end zone, no doubt, but is brought down after a huge return there. And this offense is going to be set up with a 1st and 10 inside the 15. And he's going to work this one down to about the 5. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
A 7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3.
They run it again with Cook. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook, his 12th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Folk connects on the extra point, and the lead is up to 18 now. Folk now set to boot it after his guys put 6 on the board. This is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, and he opted for the touchback. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And it's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Eluding the pressure right. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of him, and I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Jones, and he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
Jones now on 3rd down. And that's caught inside the 30. And they're going to move it down inside the 25. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
It sort of looks like they stopped some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But this defense gets 2 more stops. They can keep them out of that area.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Jones. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
They haven't been able to stop them so far this series, but getting a nice little stand from their defense now.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
They really had a good drive going there, but a nice recovery by the defense these past few downs, able to knock that one away on 3rd down and bring up what I think for the offense, an unexpected 4th down here.
And he'll try and throw here on the fake. And this one will not work out. It is incomplete. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Well, everything right now that they touch on this side of the football seems to turn to gold. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. That lead continues to grow. And, I mean, if they can get points here, Charles, might almost be an insurmountable comeback for the other side.
I think you make a great case for that, so I'm going to flip it over to the other side. Could they make the big comeback? Certainly. Am I expecting it? Not at all. I think if we don't see a drastic change in how they're playing, this blowout's going to get bigger and bigger before the final gun.
And they'll send Williams in motion right. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Cousins. Sideline throw. It's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. It'll go down as a gain of 6. And this will wind up being a 3rd and 3.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right? Whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it.
And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Leonard Williams, the former number 6 overall pick, got the sack that time. So on 4th down, on is the punter Ryan Wright. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. This will be fielded at the 17. And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And with a 3-score deficit staring them in the face, they might have to press the issue here and try to get points out of this drive. This one goes out wide for Barkley. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. To throw again on 2nd down. Jones. Got a man. It's Darren Waller. Past the 20. And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. And that is caught. He's got it for a Giant touchdown. Robbie Anderson from 13 yards out. And the Giants get a late score here in the final minute of the first half. Graham Gano on for the extra point. It's up and good, and the lead is down now at 11. It's 21-10.
21, Giants 10.
Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. Kene Nwangwu now out of his end zone. And this return will net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And with a 2-score lead already, they may just look to get this thing to the locker room. They go play action. Cousins. And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there. The Giants going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Try to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Picked up by the USC man, Adoree Jackson.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Blesson Austin. And he will be brought down on what will be the final play in this first half. So we've reached halftime here. Let's throw in a broadcaster cliche, shall we? Both teams looking for a gift on Christmas Eve. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin.
Graham Gano to kick off 44.
The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. Nwangwu now from his end zone. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember in that first half, good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner.
Yeah, they went to the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
Absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
The throw here going to be complete to Gordon.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
That's complete to Justin Jefferson. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Running on first down is Cook, but he didn't find much there. Call it a gain of 3, second down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
This defense could use a few more plays like that right now.
It certainly could, but think about it from an offense's perspective right now. They've got a lead, but they don't want to throttle down too much and stall themselves. Still want to move at a nice pace.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his second incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, but a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
Taken at the goal line. And he'll be tackled inside his own 15. The decision to bring it out cost him some yardage. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Giants' drive will start from deep in their territory with a 1st and 10. The Giants' offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out. And now, Charles, can the offense get in gear?
I think, partner, you can sense them saying, okay, the first half was theirs, but now let's get the momentum back on our side. We forced a punt. Now let's go downfield and score. If we do that, we'll be set up well for this second half.
Jones with a handoff to Barkley. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. They're backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. To throw on 3rd down, Jones. And this one is incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
Play fake. Cousins gets it to Gordon. And he's got room. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. They get 14 there. 1st down, Vikings. Williams, the man in motion left. Cousins now to throw on 1st down. Right side, it's the tight end, Hockenson. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his 2nd catch.
Yeah, people have to come up with schemes to limit him, and what a lot of teams do They'll double him, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their third corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man and try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up, give him different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the first down marker is here on third. And they'll send Williams in motion right. Open man, he's got him, the tight end Hockenson. And this won't do it. He needed 6. He only got halfway there.
I thought they might take a shot down the field, but instead they ran a little drag route there. I think they were hoping he could catch it and run away from the defender. But a really good job keeping the play in front of them, and they force a fourth down.
And remember, here on a miss, this is a live football. He's past the 30. Past midfield, look out. And he will get this into enemy territory. A great return there on the missed field goal. They go play action here on first down. Going up top. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for him. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
That is caught by Anderson. Touchdown, Giants. Robbie Anderson with his 14th touchdown of the year, second of the game. And the Giants are able to cut into this deficit here in the final minute of the third. Jones throwing for it. And he'll get in for the 2 points. And that'll cut the deficit down to just a field goal. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. Nwangu now from his end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Their lead down to a field goal now as they start with a 1st and 10. Open man, he's got Jefferson across the formation. 2nd down and 3. In motion right comes Gordon. On play action, Cousins. He's got a man, complete. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. First down, here's the run with Cook. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. If you can keep getting gains like that, Charles, with the lead here in the 4th quarter, I mean, keep running it, right? No doubt about it, but what the offense coordinator has to do is understand they're going to continue to stack the line of scrimmage. What runs do you have in your arsenal that'll work against a stacked box and continue to move the ball? Room here to run. And he's down into the red zone at the 15 after a gain of 15. 1st and 10. And we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front 7 reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10. One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now, to stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be...
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked up by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. And the Giants are right back in this football game. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. A golden opportunity for them now following the interception. They need to try to at least get 3. Obviously, a touchdown puts them in a much more secure position. He lost 9 there. That's really going to set him back for 2nd down. Back to throw. Jones. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. As big of a play as we've had in this one so far. This is 3rd and 3. Up the middle with Barkley. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. Desperation time now. Here's Jones. Now he'll turn and throw deep back to the other side of the field. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10. But sometimes you just got to marvel at how these guys can throw the football. He gave that everything he had, and it was right on the money. Now Jones on 1st down to Barkley on the check down. And he is going to lose yardage here. So it goes as a completed pass, but they lose a full 5 yards. Well, plays like that, Charles, no doubt, they're just going to continue to fuel this crowd.
And this defense is already playing well, but it also feeds on the energy of that crowd that you're talking about, and that takes them up to another level. Right now, they're playing really loose. They've got the lead, and what a nice stop they just made there behind the line of scrimmage.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Jones, he finds him again, Saquon Barkley. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. Here's Jones. And he's got it. Touchdown, Giants. Darren Waller, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Giants have moved out in front here in the 4th quarter. Gano the extra point, and that will make this a 4-point game.
25, Vikings 21. Graham Gano to kick off for New York.
Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. Nwangu now from his end zone. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. As this offense takes the field against CD. Remember last drive, they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
We'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in the second half. Here's Cousins. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's 3rd. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Now Cousins. Got an open man finding Jefferson. And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40. Cousins in step with Jefferson that time. 1st down Vikings. In motion right comes Gordon. And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
That's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle, so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
Cousins to throw. This one caught. It's the tight end, Hockenson. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts, as he'll stop it with 27 seconds showing on the clock. Cousins. And the comeback may stall out. It's intercepted. Picked off by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. And the Giants have